Hello guys, it is me again, it's HorrorFan34, and welcome back to another video. And welcome to day 28 of my 31 Days of Horror Challenge in October. Now that we are getting on to day 28 of the challenge, I figured just coming off reviewing reviewing a John Carpenter film, In the Mouth of Madness, I figured why not touch on another John Carpenter film. I actually mentioned this name briefly when I was mentioning about John Carpenter in general. When I think of it, excuse me, I have a little bit of cough still, sorry. But I was mentioning about like how John Carpenter is usually like one of my personal favorite horror directors. And he really is. Halloween, Big Trouble in Little China, Prince of Darkness, They Live. I even enjoy Ghosts of Mars and In the Mouth of Madness, The Fog, Assault on Precinct 13, many, many more. And I mentioned this one too, being another one of his underrated movies. And this was released the same year as In the Mouth of Madness was, I believe, in '95. And of course you can tell by the title, it's going to be on Village of the Damned. Now, Village of the Damned was, I believe, a remake of a film from like the 50s or the 60s. I cannot remember for sure. I know it's a remake of a movie. Actually, I think it says it here on the back. Why don't I just read the back? Yeah, it's a remake of the sci-fi film. I don't know what year the sci-fi version was of this movie. I don't know if it was like the 50s. It might have been the 50s. But I don't think many people would know going into this film that this was a remake of another movie. But the basic idea is that in this little town, there's like this like unseen force, and basically 10 women mysteriously find themselves pregnant, and you have the main physician, the main doctor, played by the late great Christopher Reeve. Would you see him on the back here? I believe this was the last film Christopher Reeve completed before his horse riding accident, which was a shame. And you also have the scientist played by Kirstie Alley, and basically about them teaming up together, and basically like on the back of like these kids like with these red glowing lights, and especially like on the front on the original poster for the movie. What was the original poster for the movie itself? But I mean, it's a pretty self-explanatory about like these kids with these red glowing eyes, and they start taking over the town. And of course, you have Christopher Reeve and Kirstie Alley as trying to stop them. Other cast members in the film, you have Michael Pare, you have Linda Kozlowski, the former Miss Crocodile Dundee herself. You also have an appearance by what was his name? Mark Hamill, who plays a preacher. He's in this in a small role, but you know, well, now when it comes to like John Carpenter films, I feel like this is probably one of the ones that doesn't get talked about or is not as remembered that he did, and I think it's a really solid flick. I know a lot of people didn't like this when it came out. I really do think this is a really solid flick. I really do. Christopher Reeve does a great job as the main doctor. I miss Christopher Reeve a lot. Of course, Superman, among many other movies. I know he was a longtime friend of Robin Williams. May he also rest in peace. And Christopher Reeve just seemed like a real stand-up guy, and knowing that this was the last film he completed before his horse riding accident, which was a shame, you know, and it left him paralyzed for the rest of his life, which is sad. But Christopher Reeve does a really good job as the main doctor. I also really like Kirstie Alley, who like before this had done films like, you know, Summer School and Look Who's Talking and things like that. It was cool to see people like Michael Pare, Linda Kozlowski, Mark Hamill. And on top of that too, this movie has, and on top of that too, some of the kids, one of the kids is actually, what was his name? The actor's name? I'm pretty sure What was the kid's name? Oh yeah, Thomas Dekker. Thomas Dekker is one of the kids who sort of like has like a little bit of a heart to him compared to like the other kids. And you know, Thomas Dekker would later be on The Haunting in Connecticut, the Elm Street remake, among many other movies. And I know for the longest time too, like especially on the back here, there's a really good documentary on the Scream Factory Blu-ray. It Takes a Village, which is the making of, which is about a little over 40 minutes long, and they interview John Carpenter, Sandy King, Michael Pare, Peter Jason. That's another guy that's in the movie who worked a lot, I believe, with John Carpenter. Meredith Salinger, Cody Dorkin, Karen Kahn, Lindsay Hahn, Daniel. Yeah, a lot of like pretty much all the kids that were in there, like you know, Thomas Dekker and things like that. And they were mentioning on the making of how like they thought like the critics and all that stuff around that time thought they were wearing like these white wigs that you like see like on their heads, and they're actually, when you watch the documentary, when they interview them, they actually say that's actually their real hair. They're not wigs. Like they actually dyed their hair white like that, and I thought that was kind of interesting. And you know, this film just works so well in a lot of aspects. I think it has pretty neat special effects by doesn't really. I know Roger Mouse, who did a great job on the production design. I really like the way the kids look. They're creepy with the white looking hair and the red glowing eyes and things like that. And I think John Carpenter did a solid job of directing this movie. Like I said, it's one of those forgotten Carpenter films that not many people remember. But I really like Christopher Reeve, Kirstie Alley, Linda Kozlowski, Michael Pare, Peter Jason, Mark Hamill. The music, once again, done by John Carpenter, is really, really well done. Very solid direction as well by John Carpenter. It's got some pretty decent special effects. And overall, Village of the Damned is a really solid flick. And if you're a big fan of John Carpenter, and if you haven't seen like this film by John Carpenter, if you want to check it out for yourself, I would highly recommend you give this a look. It's a really solid flick. So that is pretty much it for my review for Village of the Damned. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time. You guys take care.